There we go. I hope you can hear me now. That if you can hear me, and there are actually still people here, send me a message and let me know. That I'm trying to get this stuff set up correctly, and I'm obviously not doing well at it. So, okay, very cool. Now I'm going to switch back over to the other one and see if I can get it to work correctly like it should. Please bear with me. All right, people, I got to go back to this one. That I gave the other one a shot. I know this one is configured because I use it for doing our budget reports in different situations like that. But it's giving me some problems now, too. Hmm. Yeah, the more you complicate things, the harder it sometimes gets. Harder it often gets. Uh, I went over to the other one and set up the audio to the same as this was running. This setup was running, and it still gave me the same error messages. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that. And if people can hear me at this point, it would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, I'm gonna disappear for you on a sign. Well, I'm not gonna disappear. You're just not gonna hear me for a second. You're gonna have to give me a second. That I'm gonna go over to the Canon and see why it's not running now. This is the hassle of trying to do a new setup. The camera looks like it should be running. It was running just a few minutes ago. And I don't know why it's not now. So, yeah, we will figure it out a little bit later. I thought this was all set up correctly. But obviously it's not behaving correctly. So I don't know what's going on or why it's not doing it the way it should. But it isn't. So we will set up what we can and get it working and see what happens. Like I say, there's some really neat things this program can do. But trying to get it all set up correctly is obviously becoming a little bit more of a hassle than I expected. So I may go with a there we go. There we go. I'm all back. And maybe not. There we go. I hope people can still hear this. Oops. I hope people can still hear this. I gotta go back and figure out what happened with Logitech now. When these things work, they're kind of awesome. When they don't, they can be a huge pain in the tuchus. So, think I got that fixed. I don't know. We're gonna see. I hope this chat works well, and we're gonna see what happens, and we're just gonna go from there. That I get to see a live streaming window a little bit different than you guys do, and that's partly what I'm doing here, is working on some things in the background and seeing what and why it isn't working right. That yeah, that it's huh. I've got the Canon camera set up with a really cool view outside, but for some reason the video stream's not coming through to the the software. So I don't know what's going on with it, but that's where I'm at with that one. Uh, I've got other software that I can there we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm positioned a little bit better now. The window frame on this, I'm overlapping windows, and so I got that one a little too far out. And that's kind of what I'm doing at this point, is just checking which windows I've got where and all that good rot. There we go. Trying to get all this stuff set up. That this is kind of cool in the fact that I can do a lot different stuff and do have a lot more control over what's going on and all that. It's kind of a pain in the tush in that, hey, I got my Canon back. There we go. You can actually see a pretty cool view of downtown and all of the Cebu and the weather we're getting down there. Did I still haven't figured out why, and I'm going to have to practice this with a couple other people and see what's going on, and make a couple decisions on my own whether or not I want to continue down this path and learn more about it, or if I'm willing to just go with some of the other software that I know is being done and done well. Huh. The Logitech camera keeps on dying off. And I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. It hasn't in the past. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But like I say, you can do some really cool things with it. And much appreciated, Michael and Heidi, or Michael Stewart. That, yeah, it's been raining off and on here as well. That that's why I didn't go outside and do it. That all I've got is a phone, and so when I do go outside and do like that, I'm always worried about getting the phone too wet and doing damage to the phone. I've got a simple little gimbal that I use when I go to do these walking videos. That Agnes and Andy from Affiliates and Joe were the first ones to show me this one. That it's actually really cool because it does fold up, and it's super compact for doing this. And so when I'm done, I can throw it back in the bag. And not have to worry about it. It's small enough that it goes in my satchel. And I've just got a simple J4 Samsung J4 smartphone that's not waterproof in any stretch. And yeah, so when it's misty or raining, I'm real hesitant about going out and doing a live stream for fear of damaging any of the setups. Yeah, learning technology can be a serious pain in the tush. The other setup that I had that had a lot better scenes for doing YouTube, for some reason the audio isn't working at all, and I have no idea why. I've got the same exact setups that I came back and checked that real quick. For some reason, the Logitech webcam keeps on giving me some issues. And I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that. I've got a bunch of different things coming into here, but I also did a brand new setup from scratch with no. That I started the computer fresh and the whole 9 yards, hoping that it was going to work better. But I appreciate it, the people that are coming and have seen this. Hey Andy, how you doing? That I don't know how many people are on here, but feel free to welcome Andy. That it definitely appreciated that he showed up. Uh, yeah, no worries on that one. That I texted a few people to see what was going on. Yeah, if they were willing to come over and check it out and give me a hand with getting this stuff set up correctly. And so far, there's been definitely a few the more frequent visitors, and I definitely appreciate all of the support when you guys do show up like this. That it's a huge thing that gives me encouragement to keep going on these and to keep learning all of this new stuff and to go through all the hassles and headaches of figuring out what and why and how and all that good rot. And I've actually got a second window programmed up in case this Logitech does decide to die on me, which I don't get why it's giving me such garbage today. That there may be an error or I don't know. But I've definitely got a little bit more work to do on this one and figure it out. I'm thinking it might have something to do with live streaming. I don't know. I've got that people that have watched our channel. I've made reference to this a few times that we're doing a second channel that spills to Phoenix. Uh, Phil's to Phoenix Moto Vlogs. Wow, it seems to be raining over the entire Visayas. But a lot of these videos I'll do on that channel in either a private mode so that it's not being publicly broadcast, or it's yeah, that it's not on the main channel, and that way I can do a lot of these experiments. I had intended on doing this setup on that channel with a couple of friends because there's a way to incorporate other video chats into this, so you can have interviews and swap back and forth and all that fun stuff. And it's actually a really cool setup to do. Yeah, something's going on because the the mouse cursor is giving me garbage now too. It's hanging up, so there's something going on in the settings somewhere. That I've had this happen before and wasn't able to ever figure out why it was happening, but it just suddenly stopped. So I was happy that it stopped and hoped that it would correct itself. I think the flicker is actually in the, unless it's still happening, that I think it may actually be in the software that I'm using. The, yeah, as I see comments, I'll turn the that I can turn on the live chat window, that way everybody can see what's going on in the live stream instead of having to go down and look at the chat windows, which I don't know if that's any benefit to anybody or not. But it is kind of a cool little feature that I was having some fun with and decided to just go a little further with it and see what was going on. There we go. Yeah, I'm playing in the background. You're going to have to bear with me for just a second. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I think the webcam, the Logitech, for some reason, it is giving me garbage. I don't know what's going on, but I've got 3 different windows that I can see that camera from, and here in just a second, it's been flickering real. Yeah, right there was one. So it's happening all across whenever that particular cam is up. I've got a second one that I can turn off the webcam and just use the built-in camera, but it's kind of got a crappy. It's going in the background on that one too. It might be the webcam setup. I'm not entirely sure. We'll go back to doing that. That when I use this and do the videos, yeah, when I use it and do the videos, that I haven't had that problem, and I do use the webcam. That I've got a Logitech 960 webcam that I use, and outside of this program, it's never really given me any major garbage. Some configuration issues periodically, but nothing severe. And I've just always been able to play with it and work around it. In this one, there's been a few times, and so I'm gonna have to do a little bit deeper digging and seeing what settings I need to get corrected to make everything play nice with each other. That there's a way to incorporate like YouTube a video chat from YouTube, from Messenger or stream, any of the other video messaging into this. And that's kind of what I was looking to do with this, is to have an ability to do like a live interview from a stream like that. And I kind of want to play around with that and see whether or not I can get this set up correctly to do that. I think that would be a really cool thing to do. But if I have too much garbage with it, or it becomes way too cumbersome to do, that StreamYard app kind of works okay, and I like it, but it's somewhat limited in the functionality that you can do to it, and it's a subscription thing if you want to do any of the better, the more in-depth things to it. And if I'm correct, it actually uses this software that I'm using. They've just got an overlay on top of it. The program I'm using is called OBS, Open Broadcast System, or Open Broadcast Streaming, or something like that. And it's what do they call those? An open source programming. And so people can put little snippets and do other things. And there's some really cool things that you can do, that you can get from this OBS to put in little snippets that people have made. That you can get little lower thirds, that you can have scrolling messages and all that good stuff to it. And it's a really neat thing. Most of the live streamers use this program either with overlays or with there we go. Yeah, I'd been watching this in the extra menu, and it had been fine. And now all of a sudden I put it back on the main out of broadcast in the program window. It's giving me garbage again. So I'll put it up and see how long this thing actually lasts, and in case anybody's actually interested in watching me versus the outside. If you'd much rather see the outside, let me know. I can do that in a click of a mouse too. Because the other thing, if it gets too bad, like I say, I can turn back on the regular webcam, the built-in webcam, to keep that flicker from happening. I'm just not figuring out what's going on with the Logitech. Oh yeah, the hat's on the rack back there that hey, at least I comb my hair today. That's an improvement. But give me a second. I can do the hat. I even got a new gray one. That, gosh dang it. I think going nuts again. Yeah, I'm going to go back to the street view. There we go. You guys can have the street view for a few minutes and see how that looks. That it's actually kind of cool. And it's showing that the microphone from the camera is picking up. And it should, if it's picking up, it should show it on there. Yeah, and like I say that the Logitech, I've had those issues in the past with, and so I'm gonna have to start digging into the forums and see what's going on. What I'm gonna try, and if you guys would let me know, I'm gonna walk over to the door where the camera's at, but I'm gonna continue speaking, and I'm wondering if the microphone that's showing in here on my screen, nah, that ain't gonna work. Bear with me a moment. There we go. You see, this is what I'm seeing. There we go. Let's see if I can get that set back right. There we go. And that software is showing that it is oh, you didn't see that at all, did you? Okay, what I'm seeing is this. So I get a whole bunch of information that is kind of on scene to you guys. Let's see if I can get that set back close to correct. There we go. Did that help any on the audio level? I'm actually going to try and walk over to the other camera where you'll see me in just a second on the other camera, or on the camera you're looking at right now. It's showing in here that microphone is active. So I want to see if that'll pick up and just check that stuff out. Yesterday's a bit of an experiment. Oh, this is our balcony and the view I get to have coffee at every morning with. Normally it's a whole lot better view. And over in the background, I'm hoping you can at least see me. You can actually see Bohol on a really clear day, or no, you can see Mactan on a really clear day. In the background, you can see the mountains on Bohol. So in just a minute, you're going to have to let me know whether or not you were actually able to hear any Okay. Well, I'm hoping that you guys actually were able to hear some of that. Very cool. That, like I said, I wasn't terribly sure if that was going to work or not. I just got an error message on my computer. Uh-oh. Something disconnected. All right. It seems the Logitech died again and froze up the program. So, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to have to start digging on the forums and see if I can figure out why. Yeah, that Andy, you and Michael ought to have a lot to talk about. He's living on Bohol, and you lived there for what, a couple of years? I'm gonna try and clean the cameras, the built-in webcam, and see if that helps at all. Oh, that's a little bit clearer. That I definitely need to clean the computer screen. Very much. There we go. That's after getting the webcam or the built-in cam cleaned. And that's with the Logitech. That the Logitech is here and the built-in webcam is here. That's why you get a little bit of different perspective when I swap over like these. The built-in cam is definitely not quite as nice as the other. I'm actually pretty overall satisfied with the way this is actually working out. Yeah, I can see Bohol being a little pricey to live, especially where you were in Panglao, because of being such a heavy tourist area. But for the setup and that you were kind of planning, that being in a heavy tourist area was probably the best idea anyhow. There we go. But yeah, as I see comments come on, I'll transition back and forth so that anybody who's watching can see the comments a little bit easier as they come in. Until I can figure out what's going on with the webcam and why it's not working right, I'm actually going to leave it like this and let you guys just watch the city. Wish it was kind of a little bit better view, a little bit more interesting going on, but it's also way better than just looking at my ugly mug for an excessive amount of time. Wow. Now, Michael, do you know how hard or what the requirements for getting over to Panglao or going over to Bohol are at this point? Because in Cebu they've removed most of the requirements to travel. That when Mama and Papa came back from Mindanao, that they didn't need anything. They just did a health check, temperature check, and were able to call it good. I understand a lot of people are getting some really good deals right now here in Cebu City. So you can travel to Bohol without any major issue, no major paperwork issues, no major. Or are you talking about travel within Bohol? That Cindy and I'd kind of like to make the trip over for a little bit, but have been kind of a little hesitant. Yeah, Andy, that's definitely true. And from place to place is going to be different, from town to town, because her brother coming back. That's part of the reason why I've been offline for so long. Is her brother came back and was dealing with OWWA, Overseas Workers Welfare Association or something like that, trying to come back to Cebu. And one of the things that kind of messed him up is the OWA in Manila, where he flew into, was telling him that, yeah, just go to Cebu, that they were clear to go to Cebu. And when all of the people got down here in Cebu, they found out they needed letters of acceptance from the local government units, the LGUs, signed by the mayor. And yeah, unfortunately, Sabunga's mayor was nowhere to be found, and his PCR test was getting ready to expire, and finally they were able to track down an official that was able to come and pick him up in person. And I never did figure out whether or not they found the mayor. But it was an interesting experience, and that the rules on that one were changing as pretty much as you spoke. By the time you could reply and make a comment to a rule. Oh, Cindy, you hit Michael. I don't know how to do that one. Okay, I went back. I got it. He's back. Yep, he's back. That yeah, I can. I gotta go into another window. That's what I did for a second. I gotta go into another window, and I can unhide him over here. What are you doing? Okay. Okay, it's showing he's unhidden at this point. There we go. Michael, I hope you're still there. Are you playing with your buttons, Cindy? There we go. Very cool. Okay, it's all good in the hood. That Cindy's a moderator on the channel, obviously, and so I think she accidentally was hiding you or tapping an incorrect place. That it's definitely an interesting learning experience for everybody involved on this stuff. for some reason, my icon at the bottom for Premiere Pro just disappeared. I don't get what's going on. It seems I've got some work to do with getting this all set up and getting everything connected correctly. If either of you are interested in spending an hour or two with, spending hour with me one day on a private live stream on a different channel, that I would love to have the help on getting this all configured correctly so that in the future I can start using it a little bit more. That these type of live streams can be really cool. The StreamYard app is getting insanely common to put people to do multiple live streams, and that's really cool. I'd like to start experimenting with something similar to that in this and start learning to connect and correct everything. So if any of you guys are interested in that, just message me. I believe that I know Phil and some Joe that we got contact outside of YouTube. I believe oh, cool. Congrats, guy. Well, Michael, the other thing that I can do on this is I can incorporate other video chat windows in here too, so that we can do a multiple person live stream, similar to what they do with StreamYard. And I'd kind of like to be able to do that so that, as time goes on, other Phil-Am couples, other expats, etc., we can start doing a little bit of a interview type setups and stuff like that, and just do a little bit different setups and see where that goes and see how it works. But I'm showing that I've been on this for like an hour, and so trying to value you guys' time. I'm assuming you guys are probably wanting to get something done with a day, that it's already 10 o'clock. It's already 10, quarter after 10. That yeah, I bet Agnes is all stressed out about that. That's a major undertaking, guy. Have you been able to get your 13A yet? Because if not, you need to be really careful about being too involved in it, in the operations or even just setup, because it can wind up giving you some nightmares if somebody starts complaining about you doing work here in the Philippines, because we're not allowed to work. And that's one of the drawbacks. Whoop, what did I do? I hope I didn't screw things up too badly. That's one of the drawbacks about being a foreigner here, is that you can get yourself in a little bit of hurt kind of quick. If you're not careful. Yeah, here's my hat again. It was a little bit easier for me to read this stuff, because here's my glasses too, that, hey, I can actually read this stuff now. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some more configuring and more checking on this, and just kind of see what's going on and work with it. You're gonna have to excuse me for a second. I'm gonna do something else. I can make different adjustments. Usually. Huh. Well, no, that's not working. Oops. I was gonna try and resize the window, the chat window, kind of like I have it here, to where it's a little bit easier to read. At least for me. I hope it's a little bit easier for other people to read when it's up like that. But for some reason, it's not letting me resize the window. Hmm. I don't get it. How is that chat window for you guys to read on the screen? Does it provide any benefit to you people? Other than just it's easier for me to read when you do post a message? Or would you guys just rather see that the entire time that the window? All right. Because that would be the two options, is to have the chat window gone altogether and have the two windows back in full size. The drawback, yeah. Okay, yeah, something is going on with the chat window. Yeah, I was playing with the chat windows. And for some reason, the chat window is not behaving correctly. In this screen. So I need to go figure out what's going on over there. But it sounds like everybody is getting kind of busy, and like I say, it's been an hour and 10 minutes. It's getting to be 10:30, and I appreciate everybody's time and effort on this one. And like I say, that if you guys want to give me a hand, that'd be cool. If not, I've got a couple of workarounds that I can do to try and get this stuff configured. But I really appreciate your time, and I'm gonna log off. And it's been good chatting with everybody. Mabuhay. Now I gotta go figure out how to turn this off.